All right. What is going on, everybody? Good morning. Welcome up to the live. There is the bell. Markets are starting to move a bit. The SPY's trying to pop up here this morning. We can see it actually gapped up ever so slightly today. It's holding above the high of day yesterday as support, but here at open, it's like literally straddling it. If we look at my trend line from the past few weeks and the past few trading days, the SPY is now officially above it. I mean, it was above it yesterday a little bit in the middle of the day, but today it's trying to hold above there again. There's not much significance, though, as far as the upside price action has been. It just was a small gap up, and again, a lot of flatness within that pre-market move. So far today, if we see it try to hold that trend, could be an interesting sign. You can see it right now, literally straddling it. Yesterday, like I said, it tried to break above and hold as after hours started to kick off. It fell back off. Today, it's trying to hold again on the upside move. Very interesting here into this FOMC interest rate decision tomorrow and all those big tech earnings. Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, all three reporting there. It's a pretty important revelation. Love it. Joe Papa, smash the like. Good morning. Beyond the BF. I love it. Tangy Man, Hustles World, Rick, Fisher, Outlaw, Manicured Willard. I love YouTube. Wes, Sharpie, VT, Tangy Man, Jake. Outlaw says Taco Tuesday. My favorite day of the week. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, SPY's been pretty volatile here at open. Had an initial red candle on the first one. Started to jump around now a little bit. One thing that I'm watching for, I know Cookie just said gap of the day. One thing I am watching for is that possible gap on the SPY. There was a gap down to 693. I personally would not be surprised if the SPY kept flirting around this range, and if it tried to pull back a little bit to test that gap, even maybe start to bounce back on the gap fill. It could always bounce from here, but I was really kind of eyeing up that gap fill. If we do see one start to take hold, that would be somewhere where I look for maybe a slight intraday scalp. I don't think I would try to hold it too long there. You could try to set it up that way, but I think it'd be smarter just to go quick. You can use a whistle to get to the front of the line for taco trucks. I'll have to try that next time. That's funny. Smash the like. Appreciate you, Joe Papa. Hell yeah. Destroy that like and subscribe if you're new here this morning. Let's pump it up early. Nice and early today. Now you want tacos. I know. They sound great, don't they? Well, first things first, let's eye up that watch list. How we look into the upside. FSLY and CoreWeave, CRWV, doing pretty good again this morning. CoreWeave gapped up, holding up well. It has some couple resistances here at 104 and 104.80 to 105. It's pushing those in a pretty good way, though. I would not be surprised if it tried to make a breakout there, considering yesterday they got that boost from NVIDIA again with another $2 billion investment, expanding their already Now, USAR is one that's kind of catching my eye too. USAR is moving up. Yesterday it exploded, but now it kind of filled the gap and is now starting to pop. This is being a very interesting setup here with USAR. For those of you that don't know, the Trump administration took a 10% stake in USAR. I forgot how much money it was. I think a couple billion, maybe 2 billion or 6 billion. Let me pull it up really quick. $1.6 billion. $1.6 billion was the stake at 10%. But yeah, we have big tech earnings coming out over the next couple trading days. Of course, tonight we're not going to get much. But where things really kick off is tomorrow with the FOMC interest rate decision and the press conference. Right here, Wednesday, 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That is going to be huge tomorrow, so be ready for those events. As of right now, well, at least last night, Kalshi was pricing in a 99% chance that they were going to pause rates. Looking at it right now, go to the FedWatch tool, zoom it in. Well, I gotta really zoom it in here. Yeah, see, 97.2% chance of a pause at this meeting. Now, what people are really looking at is what's going to be going on with March and April. Are they going to kind of set up the tone for more rate cuts to come, or are they going to talk about pausing longer? It looks like on the FedWatch, they're really looking at pausing again at the March and April meetings. March 18th and April 29th of 2026 are the next two FOMC meetings after the one tomorrow. And again, 86% chance of a pause, 73% chance of a pause at the one after that. So that is a pretty locked in number there. I mean, we're going to have to really see Jerome Powell come out and help support the rate cut agenda, so to say. Man, USA Rare Earths, major pullback there. Now starting to take hold after that initial jump this morning, but yeah, keep your eyes on the prize there. Of course, with earnings, like I've said, tomorrow's the big day. Today, we don't have anything too crazy, but even tomorrow in the morning, ASML is going to be reporting. That is going to be a huge stock as well. They make the, I believe, the machines to do chip manufacturing. Either way, chip manufacturing process, ASML, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, Apple, all four of those big boys right there, and ASML even tagged into. So maybe 5 and even 6 if you count SNDK, SanDisk on Thursday. I know a lot of people have been eyeing up SNDK in the short term. There's a lot of earnings players out there with SNDK, given all of its popularity recently. Looks like it's holding up pretty well here into earnings on Thursday. We'll see how it does tomorrow, though, with the other tech stocks coming into report. J-Pow video tomorrow for sure. You know we will. Yeah, Jake said SNDK. Didn't see that. Grab some Disney here for a scalp. You did. I saw Nancy Pelosi sold some Disney. I kind of like it to the downside. Looks like it's starting to move down pretty well here. I'm normally somebody that tries to look at Disney more of in a longer term sense, but as of today, I like the movement down. I like the rejection off resistance. It has the news of Pelosi selling yesterday as well. What did she sell? It was like 25,000 shares or something of Disney. Let me see. $5 million worth of Disney is what it was. 5 million worth. Man, SPY just broke down through the trend line, down through 694 support, the high from yesterday. Bit of a weaker move. Like I said, though, watch this gap fill area. I think 693 will be interesting if we start to see it bounce somewhere close to there. Give me 1 second, though. I've been flying this morning. I need to grab a very quick drink. Turn on the watermark and the stocked up algo as well. 1 sec. James is going to get some water, too. Wes says, I teach college writing. Thanks for taking time to fix grammar and spelling. LOL. Are you talking to me? Or manicured? Tom's being censored. What? You lost my mic feed. What? How did that happen earlier? Huh. I haven't showed anything. That's weird. Very strange. SPY looking pretty solid again today, though. Holding up pretty well so far. It's actually now bouncing back. Not saying that this bounce back is going to hold up all day, but it's looking pretty strong here. SPY had a pretty strong move today with the gap up. I'm kind of waiting for that gap to fill around 693, but we'll see if that ends up coming or not, because this little bounce back here is pretty quick, but tomorrow's a big trading day. I would expect a lot of chop ahead of tomorrow, honestly. There's a lot going on. I'm kind of surprised that the market has been as strong as it has been into these events. I guess traders are looking for nice bullish earnings. One thing to be very careful of with these earnings over the next couple trading days, don't necessarily just pay attention to EPS, okay? I know you're going to see a lot of talk of Microsoft killed it with EPS, Meta killed it, Tesla killed it, Apple killed it. I don't know which one, which ones are going to kill it actually, but I'm just saying, whenever you see that, be careful. Right now, what a lot of people are looking at is overspending with AI. I know the last time that Meta reported earnings, they talked about their capital expenditures being higher than expected. And if we actually look at Meta on their last earnings report, look at the move that ensued there. I'm going to take away this lower support zone just so you can have the red box. But look at the move that ensued with Meta's last earnings report. And this was due to AI spending being higher than expected. I don't think that the overall earnings were necessarily terrible there. Let's see what TradingView says. It says the EPS missed, but the revenue beat a little bit. Okay, well, if the EPS missed by 84%, I see an issue there too. But still, there's been a lot of talk with the capital expenditures with these bigger companies here. It pretty much is showing that they're spending a lot of money and they're really banking on AI. And AI is huge, but they need to be a little bit wary of their spending at least. And I don't know, at least in some cases, there's definitely been some negative movement with or being associated to that overall concept of rising capital expenditures because of AI. It's just been how it's been going. Like Hustle says, guidance as well, always important. If the guidance is down a little bit, obviously that's a big negative too. I think that's actually why we saw Intel move down recently. Their guidance was a bit rough. If we look at Intel on the daily, you can see a big gap down there. I don't think that the EPS beat, revenue beat, but their outlook wasn't the best. Rick said, why don't we all get something? What? Outlaw said, Tom, for a contract, is the open interest or volume an indicator of how many people hold contracts? Thank you. So you're going to want to be looking at open interest there. Volume can be anything. It could be like you buying and selling. It could be institutions, bots, anything like that. Of course, just entering, getting out. But whenever you see open interest update each morning, it gives you that number of who held from the previous day. And that's one of the biggest indicators whenever you're looking at the big money trades. If you're looking to see like when the big money exits, you'll generally see open interest decrease the next day a ton after you see high volume the day before. Of course, if you do see high volume and it kind of matches the volume that came in whenever open interest exploded the first time, they might be selling. It can give you a good indicator of that. Again, though, you have to really wait till the next day. Sometimes they double down, or somebody else enters at a similar amount or something like that. But it's yeah, good question. Good question. Yeah, so volume showing you the contracts traded that day, while the other one, the open interest, is showing you, like you said, more of the contracts being held into each day. Yeah, the more people in the contract, the better the bid-ask spreads, Mr. James. Generally, at least. Man, Tesla dropping down 432. Another pullback, kind of like yesterday morning it opened. Pretty rough initial move there. Now, Tesla got slow for a lot of the day after that move, but it does look pretty negative here in this morning so far. I don't love it. The banks. Bank of America, JP Morgan doing nothing, kind of boring here. Nothing too crazy. Coconut said, takes money to make money, but Meta screwed up with the metaverse. The bad AI chief. Yeah. Meta had a couple problems there. The metaverse was definitely a kicker, wasn't it? I gotta say, though, whenever you zoom out on Meta, whenever you look at how low they got in 2023, it's insane to say that they recovered up from 90 all the way up to like $800 per share. Even though they are trading at like 670 now, I still think that their road has been insane. I remember when Jim Cramer cried on TV with this one. That was pretty funny. Have you guys seen that, where Jim Cramer cried on TV because of Meta? Let me know if you've seen that or not. Sorry, guys. What market news are we going to get today, August said. Let me consult the crystal ball here. What's that thing from Back to the Future? I'm gonna pull out the flux capacitor and go find out real quick. Uh-oh, James. Mason said UNH printed. Some of those contracts are up 1,000 to 2,000%. Holy shit. Wow. Down 20% right now. What a blow. This company's used to this too. In 2025, in April and May, we saw a massive drop off with this one too. Is that? Yeah, that's pretty funny, Rick. Classic scene. I have it on my sound buttons, but it always goes on way too long. Requires a rare case to use that one. Ooh, Mason played UNH's big earnings drop last year. One of the few earnings gambles, and it paid off on that one. Wow. You guys were golfing when you did it? One too many transfusions. I can't believe I didn't know what that was. You taught me what that was. Man, that's funny. Down 19.4%. Tesla down 0.55%. Still looking at that rough move from open. Waiting to see what it does. SPY, though, is actually pushing the high of the day, guys. Really turning it around. Whoa, there we go, SPY. Yeah, seriously, turning it back around. I like that move. SPY says, I'm not leaving yet.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
695.25. Wow. Pushing our big resistance here, 695.30. Let's check it out on a 5-minute chart. You guys can see just how big this zone of resistance truly is. Multiple bounces around this area. Getting through here would be pretty big for the SPY. Warren B is not at Berkshire to save UNH. For a second, I thought you were talking about Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, good old Warren Buffett. Wonder what Warren's doing nowadays. Man, SPY is ripping it there, though. That was a great move by the SPY. As it pushed up to that huge resistance, though, that's starting to slow up a little bit. Starting to slow up. This is a crazy move, though, ahead of the events tomorrow. We're going to do a poll. There it goes, pushing right through. Writing up the poll right now. While SPY continues to rip higher. So 697.29 is where we have the all-time high. I'm just calling it 697.30 though. All right, it's a pretty simple poll. With the huge events coming over the next few days, will SPY make new highs this week? The answers are yes, new highs, no, rejection, or flat price action. Curious what you guys think. There's a lot going on right now the next few trading days. Will SPY make a new high this week? Or will it reject or just go flat? Flat can be a bit subjective, but you get the concept. What's up, Mason? No more drive-through. Probably the best time to sit in McDonald's now. No more drive-through. Why do you say that? What? Oh, Warren Buffet. I see. Warren Buffet. I see. I call him Warren Buffet, guys. It's just a little nickname that we have for Warren Buffett. I see now. Literally sitting in the restaurant. If you guys see Warren Buffett at McDonald's, take a picture. Where is he located again? Omaha, Nebraska? The Oracle of Omaha, as they say. But yeah, get those votes in. You think the SPY will get to new highs, or will it reject or stay flat? 20 votes right now. Get as many votes in as possible. The SPY continues to hold around its high of the day here. Tesla actually not negative today. Looking at the chip stocks, though, they're starting to come back, and that's what's kind of fueling this rally. NVIDIA, good bounce back, good move higher. Let's look at the Mag 7 setup. Got a lot of good PA today. Microsoft's up 1.5%. Google's up 1.15%. Apple's up 2.5%, really fueling a lot of this run. And then NVIDIA is up a measly 0.6%, but still up into the green and actively moving higher from its low of the day. So that's a good sign, helping to add that fuel. But couple stocks a bit negative today. Meta and Amazon closer to break even. Tesla, same thing. So we got 4 stocks doing pretty good and 3 a little bit lagging. SPY, of course, on the top left chart. Omaha is one of the best zoos in the country. Wow. That must be why Warren Buffett's there. I couldn't imagine any other reason. Drinking cherry Coke. Do they even serve cherry Coke at McDonald's? I don't think they even serve it there. But I know what you're talking about. At the shareholder meetings. Says he consumes about 5 cans of cherry Coke a day. Look at this. Yahoo Finance even put out a whole article Warren Buffett drinks 5 cans of Coke a day at 93 years old. That's crazy. I know, I kind of want one now, Outlaw. Palantir's bouncing off 166. Actually moving pretty well off of support so far. Very good bounce and hold and push higher. Yeah, I can't believe that Yahoo Finance article was referencing that his neighbor got him to switch from Pepsi to Coke, and then he started investing in Coke. And I'll tell you guys what, speaking of Coke right now, ticker symbol KO is actually looking fantastic. It's testing this major zone of resistance that it's really failed to break out past for, I mean, over a year now. And it's failed to break out. And it's testing the upper end of this zone again. I would not be surprised if Coca-Cola started to rip past resistance here. Something else about Coke that's pretty interesting is that if we look in the bottom right-hand corner at the stocked up algo, Coke has a very weak correlation to the SPY. So if we look at the correlation, it's at negative 0.2. That's one of the lower ones that I've seen, honestly, ever looking at the correlations there. Looking at the poll right now, yes, new highs is winning the vote. With the big events coming up over the next few days, will the SPY make those new highs? Yes is winning. How's DraftKings doing here? When is the Super Bowl? When's the Super Bowl, guys? February 8th or something? Oh, it is February 8th. What a guess. At 5:30 p.m., okay. Yeah, the 8th at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Sorry, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The Seahawks versus the Patriots. Without Tom Brady. I keep seeing all these memes that say that they're going to run it at the goal line this time. I'll never forget that when I was a kid. Watching that Super Bowl, and I was like, oh man, the Patriots are done this time. I was like, it's going to happen. And then they passed it. That was the craziest thing. Bet on tails. Tails never fails. It rhymes, too. It's funny. Speaking of that, I'll have to think about that, Mason. You're right. You love your Pats. I have two Patriots jerseys. I have a Gronk and a Brady jersey. And I have a Brady Buccaneers jersey, too. It's funny, though. I always wore the Brady jersey, and my girlfriend wore the Gronk jersey, so it was like the duo there, you know? It was funny. Man, Tesla is stuck in this bottom range on the daily. Too bad it's so rough. On the 1 minute, it's trying to bounce back off that low of the day, though. Pretty decent recovery so far for Tesla, I'll say. SPY, though, just took a massive turnover there. Right at 10:05 Eastern Time. Not seeing anything too crazy there. One thing that was pretty fun today was UPS. Let's go. Yeah, UPS had a nice pop going again this morning. Nice to see with earnings. At least it's not dying or anything crazy. Still curious to see what the Federal Reserve is going to be doing with these interest rates over the next few months. I guess people are probably waiting for Powell to get out. This is actually kind of funny. If we look at the FedWatch tool, one thing that really strikes my mind on this is that, you know, the market's not pricing in rate cuts until Powell is out, which is very interesting to me. Yeah, it's really not pricing in rate cuts till June 17th. Jerome Powell's term ends in May, the middle of May, so that'll be interesting. See if that's how it plays out or not. Oh my gosh, Mason. That's not the surprise today, I promise. Teach me how to, Dougie. I don't even know how that song goes. Speculation, but with an informed background. Tangyman says, UUUU or Energy Fuels. I know it's a weird ticker. 4Us will be one of the companies the Feds takes a stake in. If I were a betting man, and I am, well, buy more UUUU. That's funny, Tangy. It is at a major resistance, and I'm a bit worried about that. I would not be surprised if they took a stake, but always hard to pick those companies, right? Mason said, SPY doesn't know what down is. 697.29 is that all-time high. SPY roaring back alive. Wow. Yeah, it had that quick 1 minute drop that was pretty nasty, honestly. If I'm going to be honest, that was a pretty bad candle, but it like immediately bounced back. I don't see any crazy news that happened within them besides consumer confidence data came out, but some of that data came in lower than expected, but all right, 1 sec, guys. I'll throw up the Mag 7 really fast. Helping someone out real fast. All right. Sorry about that. Russia's seaborne crude oil exports from Western ports are set to drop in February. How is crude oil stocks? How are they faring here in the short term? Still looking pretty good. We have ZOM, Oxy. Oxy's testing big resistance around 45. CVX, of course, is another big one. Fun name. Done pretty well over the past few weeks. Hell yeah, a lot of these have recovered up in great ways. CVX would be fun if it could break 170 here. I definitely think it's plausible. It says United Health shares tumble on Trump's spending plan. I know he hasn't been super friendly to these healthcare stocks. Windows is out here making sounds on me. Let me grab a link really quick, Cassandra. Here's a link to the trading floor. If you're interested in yearly, you can use code CRUSH2026 at checkout right now. But here, I'm about to throw it in the chat. There we go. Code CRUSH2026, all one word. Got some cool updates coming up this year. Already released a couple of early updates. Give you guys some live look-ins, but of course there's still a lot more. What's up, Beyond the BF? What do we get in the trading floor? Yeah, we have a couple bots. The Surge bot in the High Risk Breakouts channel, calling out day trading opportunities for you there. Of course, the Pullbacks channel, we're going to have the Hybrid bot calling out pullbacks as well. And of course, there's a lot of other tools mixed in. To name them all, it would take a little while, but essentially we have a SPY pulse tracker, theta trades each day, a big money trade before it comes out on YouTube so you can enter on the same day. We also have notifications for the alerts, live events every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live Q&As. You can join up and ask any question you want. It'll be answered for you live right there. We also have commands with tons of different bots to analyze order flow, charting opportunities. My gosh, on those in the commands channel, there are so many different opportunities that you can find. Unusual option sweeps showing you kind of like the big money trades, except it's kind of in a more streamlined, like call out type fashion rather than one per day. It's like anything that's over, $100,000 in premium. Golden sweeps, anything over $1 million in premium. But yeah, check it out. It's pretty badass. Education alone, I think you'll find enough value there as long as you put in some time. If you come in looking to blindly follow things and get rich quick or something, it's not for you. But if you're willing to put in work and you're understanding on what the call outs are and everything, I think you'll be just fine. Maybe learn some new strategies as well. Mr. James said, drop the other day. You like TMC, the metals company. TMC had a big pullback. Yeah, that was a 17% move yesterday. It was weird yesterday too, because this company was actually moving higher initially. It gapped up early on with USAR, but we did see a lot of those stocks pull back, and that was one of them. USAR actually ended up dropping a bit lower here today now. It officially just filled the gap, essentially. Yep, filled the gap. Maybe it'll actually start to truly bounce now. How's SPY looking? Nice, still holding up. Very volatile, but holding. Hey, Gonzalez just got the yearly. Appreciate that. It's badass there. Nathan said, do you think the small cap run up is done in the short term? Yeah, I would say it's about, it's getting to that point where you would think there could be a larger pullback starting to come in. in my eyes. Larger than just a 2-day pullback or something, right? Like, it's been pulling back in the short term already, but I could see it pulling back a little bit more, especially with all this craziness going on. Government shutdown will most likely happen. Markets don't react well to that. Yeah, meat sack. I mean, you know, if we go to the SPY and we look at the market the last time that this happened, you know, we had a big government shutdown that lasted from October 1st to November 12th. You know, I mean, there was definitely some negativity mixed in there. But, you know, considering you know, what's been happening, I mean, it hasn't been that bad of movement. And realistically, let me go back, because I have data that we actually looked at yesterday, so let me pull this up really quickly here. Shouldn't take me too long, because I already have a lot of it already open. Shoot. Oh, shoot. Yeah, 1 second. It's going to take me a little longer, but still not too bad. How dare I, right? All right, here it is. Now I want to pull it up the right way. I just had to go find out who the guy was who posted it really quick. Blue Kurdic on Twitter. Really big poster here. Very nice stats usually. They mess some things up every once in a while, but I say mess things up. Not usually the stats, but you know, just like spelling or something, but usually pretty solid. Let me grab it here for you. So this is going to show exactly how the market is moved during other shutdowns. All right, here we go. So this is the data here. Essentially what we're looking at, the length of each shutdown is right here. The dates on the left, and then in the middle is where we start to see the S&P 500 returns. Now, every shutdown since 1995 has resulted in positive S&P 500 returns. And 1 month later, the market's been green 68.18% of the time overall 1 month later throughout that whole period. If you only count from 1995, it's like 80%. It's been green. Even 2 months later, 3 months later, 4 months later, the data is pretty strong here, supporting that, you know, the market doesn't really care too much about shutdowns. Now, there are some cases where, you know, of course, it has caused negativity, but it seems like people don't really mind. I mean, holy hell, in 2018 going into 2019, the market went up 10% during the shutdown. What the? Kind of crazy. Yeah, especially with Trump, the market doesn't seem to care. Yeah, not too bad. But you do see some downside action, don't get me wrong. The one thing that I was looking at the most is, even though the SPY ended up green last time, just note the volatility. You know, there were some pretty crazy days and crazy downtrends mixed into this time. Even though it ended up green, you know, especially this day here where the SPY fell 2.7% in one go. I mean, that's a pretty bad day, right? Friday, October 10th. That's a pretty bad day. So, and we've been seeing SPY have weird red days like that every once in a while lately. The one weird trend that has played out is every time the SPY has made new highs recently, it is immediately rejected back down. Each time. It might go up by like 0.5% or something and then immediately die. Yeah. You know what they say about playing those government shutdowns, right?
60% of the time, it works every time.
Perfect, James. That was perfect timing. I should have thought of it in the moment. Henry O, thanks for subscribing. Just destroyed the rest of that Gatorade. That means we'll have to go get one soon. Who makes Gatorade? Is it Pepsi? Yep, Pepsi. It was acquired by PepsiCo in 2001. I'm out here learning the history of Gatorade. I'm just kidding. Tangiban has to go deal with a robot. What? In your manufacturing area? Let's see how the poll's looking today. 48 votes. Get your votes in. The polls have been a little bit lacking this week. Not a ton of votes there. Maybe they're bad polls. I don't know. Tomorrow's will be more fun with the FOMC interest rate decision and Jerome Powell's speech, of course. Praying that everything goes well with that. $64.25 quickly. He's talking about SPX. Is that what you're talking about? $64.25 is fairly far away. I kind of hope this isn't what you meant now. Oh, it is. Okay. SPY getting slow off that rejection. Very slow. Rejecting a lot at that high of the day. Acting as critical resistance around 695.40. Yeah, really holding up strong. James gonna be calling out again. There you go. From work? How's Zoom doing? Because it was zooming yesterday. Not much today. Unfortunately, getting pretty slow. A lot of slow movement so far today. SPY was doing good for the first few minutes there. SPY's been with its little uptrend, the funnest thing I've seen today. Nvidia was nice earlier, still looking pretty good. Yeah, especially with these events coming up the next few days here, Meat Sack. It isn't the greatest time to be long stocks in February and March. It can be a bit weak. I wish I had that historical chart up here right now. Apple's doing well. Yeah, I mean, it had a good opening move. It just fell down now, though, is looking a bit weaker. You've been doing quicker, shorter term trades like scalps. I like that in this choppier environment here. SPY might be a good scalping opportunity if it tries to make a high of day break. Looking pretty strong right now. Especially coming off of that little fluctuation that it had. Pretty strong to see it back up already. It continues to push up each time it tries to fall. Oh, you meant longer term. Yeah. It did start to do pretty good again in the short term. If we zoom out on like a daily. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's coming back pretty well. Kind of like this uptrend right here. It's actually almost mimicking that. It's pretty funny. Microsoft has been trying to bounce back too. Just like Apple. Both have been pretty weak and both are starting to bounce back. Go check Nvidia today, which has been one of the hotter stocks in the market. Continuing to pump. New highs of the day achieved, actually. 190 coming up. Nvidia getting very fun out there. Continuing to pump higher here. Definitely one of the hotter stocks. SNDK has earnings coming up this week. They're not really pumping much with Nvidia at all here. Not that they have to at all. Maybe CoreWeave. I know they were up quite a bit earlier. Slowed down a little bit. Nvidia is really pumping though. Pretty much like a clear outlier. Definitely helping the SPY go. $55 votes up in the poll. We're going to end it there. 60% voted that there will be new highs this week. 20% voted rejection, and 20% also said flat. So a little bit over half think that the market's going to pop. There goes Microsoft, starting to come up too. Of course, SPY turns over as Nvidia has that first red candle here. At least the first red one on this little uptrend. $190 is going to be a pretty big resistance on Nvidia as well. Pumped really well this morning, though. Just getting into that zone where it has rejected a lot recently. It'll be huge to pump through there eventually. If it does try to pump through there today, be ready to take advantage. How was the robot, Tangy? I thought we were going to come back to hear that the AI had started taking over. I'm going to go look for some more momentum out here. How's TSM doing? Taiwan Semiconductor trying to pump up. USAR continuing to fall down again. Rough action there. Novo. Downside action today. Coca-Cola's been pretty hot though. Looking at the daily, Coke is still pushing that recent high. Watch Coca-Cola. I think it's going to be underrated for the next few days for a possible push up to new all-time highs. Yeah, the poll was interesting, though. A lot of people still looking for those highs to push. I'm not surprised, given how bullish the market has been lately. How the SPY continues to impress. Ooh. I'm assuming they're very expensive, Tangy, with that talk. Applied Digital just made a new high of the day. APLD's up over 10% now. Leading the watch list. General Motors actually just under. Little earnings action there. Oh, not as much as I thought. Still a lot, but IREN has been pretty popular lately. It's up quite a bit. Looks like it had a stiff rejection, though, at resistance. Kind of tough. Micron up on the list. Boeing puts are starting to hit the radar. Falling down with earnings again. Post-earnings move, and Boeing's dropping. Following their earnings this morning. People said that they had good numbers, but whenever I started looking into it, it looked like there was like a $9 billion increase on revenue, maybe even EPS. I believe that they technically said it was EPS, but it's pretty strange. It's they sold their Japanese unit and ended up increasing their earnings a little bit, so people might be looking at that and saying that it was just a weird one-time increase. It shouldn't have been there. Pocket change, yeah. No way, all-time highs just hit? You gotta be kidding me. Oh. Nope. Not quite yet. All-time highs are at 697.30. I think you were looking at them, though, while the market's been open. I think technically, though, there was that pre-market high. Everyone's going to sell at 700. That would be pretty wild if we did see a massive sell-off come in at 700, but that high is really not far away. Yep. Everyone's going to sell, though, at 700. It's going to be a big number in everybody's minds, I'm sure. Love that price action there, though. SPY might as well get to a new high at this point. Bring it on. It's up 0.48% today. We're actually really close. Couple more green candles and we'll be there. One more decent move like we saw over the past 30 minutes, and yep, it'll be there. What a good reaction, though, coming off of this weird point of consolidation. This is what I was talking about earlier, how SPY was in this weird point of consolidation, and we do see that happen quite often where, you know, it'll come up to test that high and end up ripping through after that little downside move in that sense. I know we were talking about it like right here as it was testing. Wow, what a morning, though. I don't really see any crazy news supporting the move necessarily. Nvidia's been pretty positive, though. A lot of the Mag 7's been holding up well. Microsoft. Keeping the SPY going. Nice to see it coming up there as much as it is. Nvidia's starting to turn over a bit. NVDA on the 1 minute. Pulling back. Starting to add some weakness into the SPY here. Go to the Mag 7 once again. Amazon pulling back a bit. Amazon had a really good run this morning, too. A lot of these stocks did very well. Let's see APLD again, though, because APLD was pretty hot. Still slowly but surely chopping up the new highs. IREN is starting to heat up. Made a new high of the day a couple minutes ago here. Very popular stock lately. A lot of positivity there. Microsoft at a high of the day. Might push 480 here. It's sitting around 479. Be nice to get another little pop. Help fuel that SPY. Good morning, Ethan. What's up? Good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining up today. Yeah, we're about an hour and 30 minutes into open here. SPY getting a bit slow. Still been pumping up pretty well, though, this morning. We've had some period of pullback mixed in, but for the most part, this nice rip has been awesome to see. Tesla now starting to shift down. Few big red candles. Tesla had a lot of red candles at open. Was one of the weaker stocks out there. Starting to look pretty rough again with these candles hitting in a row. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. You know, there were some periods of downtrend here on the way up, but nothing quite as rough as what we just saw over the past few minutes, besides for that opening move today. Hey, there we go, Ethan. Perfect. Perfect there. Bank of America bouncing, holding its ground. 51.85, 51.90, holding up well. Right around break even on the day. Nothing crazy. Can maybe try and play it up off of that support. I could see some traders looking for opportunity there. Palantir slow and stuck. Meta had some great price action the past few trading days, starting to slow up a little bit today, though. Sucks, though, because they've been on the radar with all that great price action. Kind of sucks to see it slow today, but I guess after 3 great days, you can't ask for too much, right? Kind of crazy stocks are you guys seeing out there? Anything nuts? Of course, I always look at my watch list, but a lot of times you guys throw out some crazy tickers that are flying. GM has been great today, up over 9%. Following their earnings, CoreWeave has been another one that has been pretty spectacular. Up another 9%. CoreWeave loves moving in big ways. CoreWeave and APLD have been two that have been better than most, I'd say, as far as the growth names go. You scalped Nebius. NBIS. Nice. Up 4.7%, kind of around average today for them. Still, though, you caught a scalp. Good. Good stuff. Yeah, nice little pop there in the middle of the day. Ride it open. Luis says BNAI. Brand engagement networks down 25%, starting to move from open, but went nuts yesterday. Started really exploding. BNAI. Wow. What happened with them? Technically, it was after hours Friday where they really started getting going. $2 million Valio Technologies deal. Okay, doesn't seem that crazy, but guess it's good to get an AI deal going for him. To expand into Africa's government and commercial markets. Wow. I don't know too much about BNAI, but definitely seems interesting. Seems like they have ties to Africa there. At least with the deal. C-Go says Intel coming back. INTC. It appears so right now, really. Intel's looking pretty hot on the day. I would not be surprised if it tried to break through that high of the day here eventually. I'm not saying it's going to go up a ton, but I could see it try and test 45, maybe 45.50. $46.50 would be pretty nice too. Thoughts on ZETA? You bought some at 20.02. Just gonna DCA in? You think it might go lower? But there is levels on Bookmap. Let's see. Yeah. ZETA is at a point where it looks like it could definitely go lower. This is a strange part of the setup for ZETA. The one thing that I would really watch is a possible retest of like 16 to 16.50 down here at support. This has been a big level where there's been multiple bounces with ZETA. I could see a possible retest of that before the uptrend. Doesn't mean it has to get all the way down to there, but I could definitely see that recent low breaking a bit before the uptrend really develops. When I say that recent low, I'm talking right here. This is actually kind of like a textbook head and shoulders pattern. You know, you got your head up here, then you got your kind of your shoulder lines, you know, with the support just under. And eventually what we're looking for is if you're looking at the head and shoulders, you're looking at like a drop below support. Whether you're looking at it in a way of head and shoulders or you're just eyeing up support, I am a bit worried that that support will give out. All right, guys, quick intermission. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that, guys. While Tom's gone, let me tell you about the Skittles shortage of 88. What? That would be funny if there was a real thing like that, Tangy. My gosh, and the SPY's about $1 away from highs, guys. About 1 point off from new highs. 697.29 is what we have posted on TradingView. SPY is just about there. Microsoft breaking through 678.85. Sorry, 478.85. I misspoke. Any of y'all traded silver on the way up, Meat Sack said. Oh yeah. Silver's been in the on the agenda on the way up for sure. For sure. Wow, again today, starting to, still holding up pretty well. I'll say it's not the best PA ever this morning, but holding up pretty well compared to yesterday. It gapped up again today, just couldn't really sustain the move. Silver did pull back ever so slightly on SLV anyways. Silver itself had a green candle, but Tangy made about 1,200 on SLV, about 5,000 value on their bullion. There you go. The physical silver, you're making more on physical than you are on that. That's pretty big. SWBI, looking fun, of course, over the next few trading days. Going to be eyeing it up for another rip higher. There it goes, starting to test that recent high. Love it. Love it today, Dizzy Spider. Moving up well again. I love the prospect of a bigger breakout coming through here for SWBI past like $11.50. What's up, J-Bass? Yeah, I mean, like, there's not really any select movement that you see on a daily, on an intraday basis between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. If there was, we have to keep in mind that, algorithmic trading would pretty much price that out of the market very quickly if that was something consistent. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not like a direction that, we generally see between that time frame, but I would say given what we're looking at today with the SPY and with the SPY pushing up towards the all-time high and, breaking past it even on the daily time frame, but whenever you look at the intraday, the highs are on 697.30. We, I don't think it's bad to really look for more uptrend. I mean, the SPY's pushing to highs. We have big events coming up over the next few days, and it seems like SPY doesn't really care. SPY's not worried anyways, or the market's not worried. There's always worry out there, but obviously The Bulls are overweighing the Bears here. Oh gosh. All right, let's see that SPY action getting very slow now. Very, very slow. Nvidia was really pumping it up earlier, but now that Nvidia slowed down, the SPY has slowed down a bit too. I still want to see new highs hit, but we're not really seeing that here. Silver's still going here, Tizzy says. SLV coming up off the dip in a great way. Might push back over 100 here. Might be tough to break, though, but I like the prospect of it getting through. I would think that we could see it pretty easily. Considering that, you know, it's going to follow gold or follow silver anyways. Granted, it could end up being big. Ooh, SWBI moving. Just had a big pop above 1150, but immediately pulled back on the 1 minute. Getting volatile up around this range, though. It's at the upper end of the range where resistance loves to come in. See, Ghost said, why is GLW up so much today? Corning Incorporated. It looks like they had earnings. Let's look it up. They're on track for their highest close since 2000. Whoa. They announced a $6 billion agreement with Meta to accelerate U.S. data center infrastructure for AI. Damn, I had not seen that news today. A $6 billion deal with Meta has this stock exploding from open. This one would have been a very nice one to have caught at open there with the news. Of course, every once in a while, something goes under the radar. That was a big one. Can you please check Intel? Is it entering a pullback, J-Bass said. Right now, I wouldn't call it a total pullback yet. It's definitely pulling back, but I'm sure you're meaning like more of like a total pullback for the whole day. I would really look for this uptrend to start to give out first before calling it just like a major pullback for the entire day here. Intel has been pretty solid today, and it's been pulling back a lot lately. I wouldn't be surprised if it pulled back a little bit more, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily saying and calling it, you know, the high of day yet or anything like that, or where we're going to see a huge pullback take place. One other reason is that if we measure these other pullbacks during the day here that pulled back, this one's still pretty close to that. It's starting to get towards that length, but, you know, again, if we start to see it bounce back, that would be a good sign. If we see this trend line give out, I think that's where I would start to become a bit more bearish there. Interesting pattern, though, with Intel the last few trading days, given all the craziness going on. They had those bad earnings and have just been falling down since. Let's see if this trend holds or not. Little intraday support here as well. SPY's going again. There we go. New high of the day achieved. There we go, SPY. popping up pretty well. 696.25 breaking up. Very nice. 696.50 coming up. Before we hit that all-time high, keep your eyes out. We're probably going to see that slow grind up for the majority of the day. Nvidia looks extremely hot again, like it might keep running here. So watch out for the bullish run. Excuse me. Watch out for that bull run to continue. This is a wild day here. I know a lot of people voted that the SPY could make new highs this week with all the crazy events, but my gosh, I don't think that they necessarily meant today, but hey, whoever voted that is looking pretty good as of now. Alrighty, guys, we're probably going to call the stream there today. Appreciate everybody joining up on this beautiful Taco Tuesday. Tomorrow, we're going to have a big day. We're going to be live in the morning, and then we're going to be live again for the FOMC interest rate decision and the Jerome Powell press conference at 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll be going live around 15 minutes before the interest rate decision, so around 1:45 p.m. Eastern time is when I will be going live tomorrow. So yes, I will be going live. If you see people asking, feel free to say, yeah, Tom is going live. I'm sure there'll be a lot of those questions. But alrighty, guys, have a great rest of your day. I hope to talk to you later. Get out there and crush it, because there's some craziness coming up. We might see a little bit of volatility. It might be harder to trade. Maybe it won't actually. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually just see the SPY explode and the events will all go smoothly. Time will tell, of course. If you're not yet in the trading floor, get in before code CRUSH 2026 ends. The yearly code is going to be ending soon. Right around the end of this month. So let's go. I'm throwing it out there. Take advantage while you can. CRUSH 2026. All right, have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you guys later. See you in Discord.